Yes, yes, this is no joke. This is not a game. This is a real thing. It's a game for them. Scientists around the world are teaching dogs to sniff out COVID 19. Steve Lindsay, a public health entomologist at Durham University, is midway through explaining how dogs might play a role in detecting COVID 19 infections when a decidedly less well trained canine interpret our conversation. If you will excuse me for a minute, I've got a naughty black Labrador out in the backyard doing something it shouldn't be doing, Lindsay say. He disappeared. I heard barking. He returned accompanied by a chocolate lad. She's not as skilled as the detection dogs, Lindsay say as the pup tries to lick his face. But it's really interesting to see our dog see the world through its nose. It's amazing, actually. It's the olfactory prowess that could make dog be useful ally in our battle against a virus that, sorry about that, that killed over 1 million people worldwide. Scientists have long known that people sick with certain disease emit particular odor. Different affection affect different parts of the body in different ways. Some producing specific combination of volatile compound. Dogs have shown a remarkable ability to pick up on those airborne chemical, detecting when people are infected with malaria, infectious bacteria, and even certain types of cancer. Now scientists are hoping that dogs' key smells, 10,000 times better than that of human, can help them identify people carrying COVID-19 too. Lindsay, along with collaborators at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, LSHTM, and the UK-based non-profit medical detection dog is working on a UK government-funded studies that will test dogs' ability to detect COVID-19. Their goal, to train coronavirus sniffing dog, which could then be deployed at school, airports, and other public venues to reinforce existing nasal swab testing program. A similar study is underway at the University of Pennsylvania. We are not just doing the proof of concept work, we are also working out actively how to deploy this and scale it up as well, because we want to hit the ground running once we've gotten our result, says James Logan, the head of LSHTM, Department of Disease Control, and the project led on the UK study. Other studies have produced promising early result. In June, a team in France, using a small number of samples collected from human patients who have been tested with COVID-19 in PCR tests, the current gold standard for testing, found a high degree of evidence that dogs could detect COVID-19 infection through differences in the smell of human subjects, armpit sweat. Also concluded dogs don't particularly mind sniffing people's armpit. In Germany, research ran a small pilot study published in July with trained coronavirus sniffing dog, Corona Snufflehund, and showed that the dogs were able to distinguish between coronavirus positive sample and a control group with an average sensitivity. The rate of detecting true positive at 83% and specifically true negative rate at 96%. Only after 1 week of training. That's not quite as accurate as COVID-19 rapid antigen tests. which have a sensitivity ranging from 84% to nearly 98%, or specifically of 100%. But antigen tests require often uncomfortable nasal swab and takes about 15 minutes to return result. Dogs, by contrast, may be able to tell if a person is infected in seconds and no swabs needed. It's a game for them, says Oliver Volks, a co-author on the German study and the head of small animal medicine and surgery in the University of Veterinary Medicine, Hanover. In that study, research used a device called Detection Dog Training System, which randomly present dogs with either COVID-19 positive or negative sample. They're in a row of 7, scented hole, connected to sample containers. The dogs were automatically rewarded with a toy of food when they identify the correct sample. It's a positive experience for the dog as well, and that they may learn so fast, said folks. Coronavirus sniffing dogs are already in use in Helsinki, Vantana Airport, as part of a Finnish government-sponsored pilot program. Canines are also currently scanning for COVID-19 in multiple airports in the UAE. Despite those deployments, there's still plenty we don't know about dogs' ability to detect COVID-19. It remains unclear how strong any coronavirus odor smells to dog, for instance. If sniffer dogs are sensitive to coronavirus smell, handlers could keep the dog near moving lines of people, check lots of subjects at once. Similar to how explosive sniffing dog works at airport. If not, sniffer dog may only be able to pick up the scent when scanning people one at a time. Another unknown how far a COVID infection needed to process before a dog can pick up the scent. A German study, for instance, used samples from hospitalized corona patients who were likely sicker than many people who got infected. About 40% of people with the virus shows no symptom but may still spread to others. What we want particularly is for our dogs to pick up asymptomatic people, says Lindsay, whose study aims to test dog ability on people presenting various degrees of symptoms. If they do, that's even better because we pick up people early. Another open question is whether dog is trained to detect COVID-19 or zeroing in on the infection caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus specifically, or if they are detecting a broader array of similar viral infection like seasonal flu and cold. Like a recipe, you have one ingredient wrong, it doesn't give you the right to taste, says Logan. His team won't answer that questions in further research, assuming there are more findings. While researchers are optimistic that dog may play some role in helping to fight the pandemic, they're clear-eyed about the need for more evidence that such a plan will actually work. There are numbers of projects around the world that are planning moving forward to deploy COVID-19 dogs, and this is happening a little bit before the robust evidence is in place, says Claire Guest, a CEO of the medical detection dog. Getting more conclusive result will mean collecting hundreds of samples to make sure dogs are learning the sense of COVID-19 infection and not just the smell of individual patient. That sometimes means getting creative. The UK-based research team is currently collecting stocks worn by COVID-19 positive patient and other worn by healthy participant to use in its trial. Guess hope our group will be ready to publish results based on this next research phase in the next 6 to 8 weeks. If their finding checks out, researchers say we could see COVID-19 detection dogs deploy more widely within 6 months. So the dogs are on the way coming to you to sniff you out, not just if you have other diseases or maybe carrying drugs, but the dogs are out there, and it ain't no joke. They're coming out there in the airport. Who knows? They will be at the police station. Who knows where they will be at the hospitals to test to see if you have coronavirus. My friends across the globe, let us work together and abide by the rules instead of having dogs sniffing you out like trash bins. And wear your mask. Wash your face. Wash your hands. Do the distancing that is required of us. Come on. Let's avoid all the traumas and drop the dramas. Once again, this is JCon TV out of Zurich, saying unto each and every one of us, in this time of COVID-19, let us abide by the rules. Shalom.